What's going on, everyone? TomGorian here, and welcome to episode number 9, I believe, of this F1 22 My Team Career Mode series with Carlin. Today, we are back from the, quote, summer break, and we are getting ready for the Belgium Grand Prix. Personally, my favourite Grand Prix of the F1 season. I really love this circuit, just the high-speed, flowing nature of this circuit, and also the iconic corners. You know, you got La Source, you've got Les Combes, you've got Air Rouge, Radion, you know, you got the bus up chicane. So many iconic corners, and this track is just iconic in its own way. If you didn't watch the previous videos, mainly Austria and Hungary, make sure to go and watch them in the playlist or in the chapters at the end of this video. Before we get started, 30 likes on this video will be massively appreciated, and subscribe to the channel for more F1 22 content as we head in towards season number 2. We are only 5 races away now from the end of the first season, and I feel like we've made massive strides already in this career mode My Team series, already picking up just over 20 points and 1 podium as well. So pretty much now the goal as we head towards qualifying will be to firstly switch our focus onto season number 2, and also not just that as well, but also just try and get David Beckman some points on the board. He's had some great performances in this season, a couple of P11s, a couple of P12s and 13s, but he hasn't really scored that point that we have, like we did in Jeddah, like we did in Austria. You know, he hasn't really capitalised on the chances that he's had this season, and he's had a lot of chances, and his pace during the second half of the season, well, in the first half, has been decent at best, but I really need him to try and step up now if he wants to be retained for season number 2. But talking about this lap right now, this is the final lap of Q1, and I'm not gonna lie, this was a bit of a painful weekend as we headed towards Sector 3 right now. As you can see, we're pretty much 2 tenths up as we head towards the bus up chicane. As we head towards the bus up for the final time in qualifying, get a decent exit in towards 3rd gear and an early shift into 4th. Across the line we go, we're getting 4 tenths, but once again, it is not enough. And we are out of Q1. Once again, we're in P20, which is a very disappointing qualifying for us. Just the car all weekend just felt very unstable on the rear end, especially in Sector 2, mainly the high-speed corners, mainly Les Combes. But apart from that, I was just messing around with the setup, but nothing really worked. It's time for the race.
Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula 1 World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019 Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of them to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Russell, Valtteri Bottas and Mick Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc, Joe and Lance Stroll, Magnussen, they've taken a grid penalty, Norris, Daniel Ricciardo and Vettel, Latifi, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Gasly, David Beckman and Alex Albon, Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty, Ocon, Tsunoda and Thomas. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So we are here getting ready for the Belgium Grand Prix. Since we qualified in P20, we're going to take some grid penalties, so that will pretty much start us from the back of the grid. But listen, man, this is what we expected, to start from the back of the grid. It is our first season after all, so we still have to take our hits with our blows, as they say. But starting from well, actually, we're starting from pretty much the back of the grid as we get ready for the formation lap here. The strategy is pretty much easy. Most tracks are pretty much easy on the strategy, from the mediums to the hard tyres, but obviously with the tyre wear upgrades and the general upgrades that we'll have on this car as we enter Season 2 and onwards, maybe the strategy will be from mediums to softs, maybe in the future, maybe in Season 3 or even Season 4, but as we get ready for the start of this Belgium Grand Prix, I don't think points is going to be available in today's race. We know how quick the AI are in a straight line, and they're very rapid. We can't really keep up with them, and just the pace of this car since this weekend began hasn't really been that good. Hopefully David Beckman can once again carry us, as it's been a trend of this season, but we're getting ready for the Belgium Grand Prix here at Spa. Are you ready? It's 5 red lights! Lights out, away we go at Spa. Decent start there by us and also Yuki Tsunoda. Actually, that's a terrible start there. We've lost the back end and we've made a very easy mistake, so we have to dive bomb in towards turn 1. Carlos Sainz there in P17 there. He hasn't had a good qualifying. And also, Charles Leclerc's teammate is a couple of race wins now from becoming world champion. We've got 5 races left of this season as Albon tries to go on the inside at El Rouge and then at the top of Radion. That doesn't work as we enter the Camel Straight in towards La Source. As you can see, Vettel tries to go around the outside of us in towards the Le Comte chicane, but that does not work. And also David Beckman, he's through as well. We've let David Beckman through because Beckman is our only chance of scoring points on the weekends that we don't do well at. So I'd much rather have Beckman try and score points if we can't score points. But, you know, I'm just trying to find his pace early on. As he makes a bit of contact with us, he just closed the door there, right there, in No Name. I don't know what he was doing there. I was literally right there and he just closed the door. And as you can see, Sainz tries to go down the inside. I think he might have front wing damage after that contact. So that is very unfortunate there for the Ferrari man. But yeah, once again, the same problems that we've had in Hungary, where the AI you can't really react and you just can't really settle into a rhythm because the AI they're all over you. And, you know, you try and get a rhythm going and they're just down you inside, they dive bomb you, and they just overtake you on the straights. But entering lap 3, Beckman is ahead of Carlos Sainz, and obviously the DRS is enabled. And as you can see, that is Charles Leclerc. Leclerc's in the pit lane, and he has front wing damage, and that is not going to help the championship leader. Carlos Sainz is all the way down in P13 right now. We're in P14 just behind him, and Charles Leclerc has already had to make his first pit stop. But here comes Sebastian Vettel in that Aston Martin, just rocketing down the Camel Straight in towards Les Combes, and that was an easy move for the Aston Martin driver. We should expect some driver transfers or driver retirements at the next episode in Zandvoort, and I think we have a pretty good chance in Zandvoort to score more points. But yeah, this race is just a waste of a race where, you know, we just didn't have the pace engine wise. We still have too much drag on the car, and we're just still really slow in a straight line, and we just can't really keep up. But as you can see there's Beckman and Vettel and Sainz. Sainz having a mental battle with Vettel. Vettel goes wide on towards the curbing and the grass, so we're just not close enough to try and go around the outside or the inside of Vettel. He closed the door very well, but Beckman is holding his own against Carlos Sainz. Beckman actually does a switchback on him, but obviously Carlos Sainz has the better car. Here comes Vettel now. He's going to go try and go down the inside. It's free wide, going into Blanchimont. Is that Blanchimont? I think it's Blanchimont. I still don't know these corners. But we're going to go side by side with our teammate, David Beckman. Around the outside we go. And also Vettel as well. The two German drivers, we've absolutely mugged them off. Both Germans, but Vettel's still going to come back at us as we enter Sector 3 in towards the main straight. But we're going to have better traction, and we do get ahead of Sebastian Vettel. That was a clean overtake. That two German drivers, one was our teammate and the other was Vettel, who we've been fighting all season. But here comes Vettel again. Here comes Sebastian Vettel on the inside of El Rouge and Radion. What is he doing there? I don't know why he's trying to make that move, work. In real life, that would have been an airplane crash, a dangerous crash, and I'm literally fuming at this point. Why are you trying to make a move like that? You're a four-time world champion, and you're trying to make a move on the bottom of the hill. That's just dangerous and reckless, and very silly from Sebastian Vettel. But entering lap 10, we're pretty much halfway through this Belgium Grand Prix right now, and we're going to come in. Beckman is ahead of us. We've let Beckman go through because we just don't have the pace to try and close up, and hopefully Beckman can try and close the gap between P15 and maybe some of the points runners. But we're going to come in for our first and only stop, the mediums to the hards, nail the pit lane speed limit right there. And let's just see what we can try and do. Maybe we can get an undercut, maybe on David Beckman, maybe hopefully a safety car doesn't come out for the next like 5 or 6 laps, as we get an optimal pit stop time once again, and that is a 2.5 second pit stop. So that's a great pit stop timer from the pit crew as we lose the back end there on the... We're out of the Belgium Grand Prix.
Brilliant stuff from Red Bull today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Anne, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Red Bull put up an outstanding fight for the front position today, and it's great to see it paid off for them. They do so much for the sport that you can't help but be delighted by today's race win.
I can't lie. There are certain moments where, in pain, you just have to laugh and not cry, and that's so embarrassing. To crash on cold hard tyres at La Source, the pit lane. Well, either way, that's us. That's our fate settled. Max Verstappen wins the Belgium Grand Prix. Hamilton in second. Sergio Perez in third place, and we are out of the Belgium Grand Prix very spectacularly. And David Beckman did not score points again, unfortunately. He came in P15, so not a good day for the Carlin boys. Just trying to see Magnussen, Ricciardo, Alonso there, Bottas. Bottas has been doing well this season, but Mick Schumacher, he got 5th place. Great result there from Mick Schumacher at Belgium. Great performance there, but for us, it's anything but great. It's an absolute disaster. And yeah, hopefully it gets better before it gets worse. But thanks for watching. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video at Zandvoort. Get me the hell out of Spa. Peace.
HV on the beat.